what a way to start. Imagine being at a rally of the amount of people that Trump draws, and it's been in the tens of thousands at times. I think this rally had 10,000 and there was a couple thousand outside. I think it was 17,000 total. But powerful. I don't know another way to describe it. Instead, we get Prime Minister Socks and Mr. Clement. So there was a video a few days ago, and a couple of people said, hey, why didn't you update this? I didn't see it until literally just now. But essentially, the whole story didn't come out a few days ago. And here's CBC News reporting on it. So, quote, the original story reported Tuesday was that Clement had resigned from all committee roles after someone allegedly tried to extort him over sexually explicit images in a video he shared with the recipient he thought was a, quote, consenting female. In fact, the recipient was a foreign actor, Clement says, who reportedly demanded €50,000 or 75,000 Canadian to keep the images private. Initially, it seemed as though the Conservative MP did all the right things, which I agree with here. He admitted to sharing the files. He informed the RCMP, his party, and the Privy Council office about the attempted extortion, and he apologized profusely in a public statement. According to Conservative leader Andrew Scheer, Clement also told him this exchange was an isolated incident. Okay, so that's where I was too. That's what I thought. All the reading I did, and I watched the presser that Scheer put out, and I thought, yeah, I mean, dude made a mistake, but he came clean on it, and I'm not going to rail on him for this. Like, you make a mistake and you come clean, you get a pass in my world, like he said, but not a full pass, right? There are consequences. He had to step down from all these councils, but apparently that wasn't the whole story. Apparently he was extorted last year for the same thing. So hold on a second. This is a different story altogether. We've got some systemic rot, maybe some moral, what did Mr. Bernier call it? Morally corrupt? Yeah. Huh. Look at that. So glad we have another Conservative party that has a lot of support. And we're going to look at that in just a minute too. So back to the article, quote, but this was not an isolated incident. Of course, in a letter to constituents published Thursday, Clement disclosed that he was the subject of a previous potential extortion attempt last summer, which he says he brought to the Ontario Provincial Police. More than the nature of his interactions, Clement's grotesque lack of judgment makes the decision to remove him from Conservative Caucus unassailable. Not only did he make himself vulnerable to extortion while serving on Canada's National Security and Intelligence Committee, but he apparently did so repeatedly, somehow managing to get the first case under the radar. This can only be explained by hubris or stupidity or both. It is also concerning, assuming that Clement really did report the first case to the necessary authorities, that he was still somehow cleared to sit on the 11-member parliamentary committee tasked with overseeing Canada's security and intelligence agencies. Okay, so on one hand, if he did tell the OPP, how did he get confirmed to be on these committees? And number two, did he actually tell the OPP? Or was that just because he lied, like he boldface lied to Scheer, right? He said, oh yeah, no, it was a totally isolated incident. Did he just mean with this person? Yeah, right. So that's also known as lying, right? That's just, let's clarify, that's a lie. So Clement's a lying liar and doesn't deserve to be on any of the committees. And he probably shouldn't have been on the committees he was serving on based on the last year's extortion. So there, again, with reporting, more questions than answers. But at least the answer is he has further consequences. He's been ejected from the Conservative Caucus, so now he's an independent as well. And I don't think Max will touch him, which, I mean, obviously, right? Doesn't even need to be said, but I said it anyway. And on to Max. Here's what the People's Party rally looks like. These are a bunch of tweets that Maxime Bernier retweeted, and we'll have a look at all of these images. But yeah, it's standing room only in a relatively small theater, and I think that he probably could have filled up a bigger room with, I mean, just, press and whatever. I mean, if you've been to these things, they're the same, right? The politician gets up to the front of the room and they talk and everybody cheers, and so, sometimes they get heckled or whatever if they're not very popular. And even if they are popular, they sometimes get heckled. But it's nice to see that Mr. Bernier has this much support in the room. And I wanted to show this one for outside as well. Oh, I thought this was in the hall. There's a lot of reports that there were a lot of people in the hallways waiting to get pictures, etc., with Maxime Bernier. So there's lots of people in the room and lots of people in the overflow. So that's nice to see. I'm glad that we've got EDAs going. I'm glad that we've got people excited about a Canadian politician who's not pandering to the globalists and who's got a message that's resonating. It's unfortunate our press isn't reporting this kind of stuff as much as they maybe should. But hey, that's why I'm here, I guess. So thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the peoplespartyofcanada.ca and check out Maxime Bernier. His thoughts might align with your thoughts on the direction that Canada should be going. Maybe you'll want to vote for him in the 2019 election. Thanks for watching, everyone.